With the NBA draft, franchises often use the opportunity to add spectacular young talent to their respective rosters, which could help contribute to more success in the future. While the right pick can go a long way, sometimes these excellent new additions don't meet expectations. This simply means drafting the wrong players can set franchises back for several years. From names like Greg Oden and Kwame Brown, here are the top 8 biggest busts of the NBA draft. Greg Oden. In 2007, although the Portland Trail Blazers got the #1 overall pick over the Seattle Supersonics, the player that they drafted turned out to be a major bust. Going into the 2007 draft, the #1 pick was likely between two freshmen, who were considered polar opposites in playing style. One was Kevin Durant, and the other was Greg Oden, and they ultimately experienced distant fates in the NBA. Greg Oden was regarded as an all-powerful center from Ohio State, and was once described as a once-in-a-decade type of player by the current head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr. But Oden's career was marked by countless injuries, where he missed out 4 whole seasons, right from the start of his rookie year. And unfortunately, he was subjected to a total of 7 knee surgeries for as long as he was in the league. Scanning back through the caliber of players that were drafted after Oden, there is no doubt that they've had tremendous success, especially to the detriment of the Trailblazers. Besides Kevin Durant, other notable players from the 2007 draft class include Al Horford, Joakim Noah, and Marc Gasol. In 2015, Oden left the NBA to spend a season playing in the Chinese Basketball Association before returning to Ohio State to finish his degree in 2016. But the basketball world will always wonder what could have been if Greg Oden's knees were as strong as he was. Hashim Tabit. Tabit was originally from Tanzania, and he spent 3 years playing under Jim Calhoun at the University of Connecticut. At 7'3", he averaged 10.3 points as a center, 8.5 rebounds, and 4.2 blocks in his career with the Huskies, which was instrumental to landing them to a Final Four in 2009. Selected as the #2 overall pick, Hashim was snatched by the Memphis Grizzlies, who probably felt that they had struck a gold mine, but that didn't turn out to be the case. Hashim spent his rookie season swinging between the Grizzlies and their affiliate in the D-League, the Dakota Wizards. His stint at the then NBA D-League made him the highest drafted player to appear in a D-League game at a time. Well, man, can't say he didn't make history there, of course. When he was picked up in 2009, the Grizzlies were known as a team on the rise in the NBA, which means they upheld the grit and grind spirit in their squad, something the fans naturally fell in love with, and they gained the 2nd pick in the draft. Without the slightest expectation of him being a rotation player, the Grizzlies picked Tabit, and unfortunately he only played 113 games in Memphis before he was traded to the Houston Rockets in 2011. From there, he bounced around in the NBA for 4 more years, averaging 2.2 points in 224 appearances, before going on to play overseas after the 2013-2014 season. Recent reports suggest that he was playing in the Taiwanese League, before being cut near the end of 2021. Kwame Brown. When the president of basketball operations at the Washington Wizards went for the flashy pick, in the 19-year-old Kwame Brown from Georgia, that moment became the first time in NBA history that the top overall pick was used on someone entering the league directly out of high school. Brown's start in his NBA career was very slow, and he only had his most productive season 3 years after he first joined the league, averaging 10.9 points and 7.4 rebounds. He entered the NBA with astronomical expectations as the top pick of the Wizards team president, Michael Jordan, and unfortunately did not live up to the hype. He only lasted 4 seasons with the Wizards and was reportedly offered a 5-year contract worth $30 million, which he turned down, for a trade to the Los Angeles Lakers. In Los Angeles, he continued to be a solid role player, but was plagued by the growing sentiment that he was a draft bust. From 2008 to 2013, his play took a major hit as he bounced from 5 different teams, before eventually retiring after a 1-year stint with the Philadelphia 76ers. With Brown, you can always agree that the media sometimes can drill into heads. Michael Oluwakandi. As the #1 pick in the 1998 draft, Michael Oluwakandi, popularly known as the Candyman, ranks high among athletes who made an unlikely ascent to the highest level of sports. He was born in Nigeria and raised in London, and first picked up a basketball at the age of 18. Checking in at 7'1" and boasting a 7'6" wingspan, he eventually forged his path to California, where he spent 3 years playing at the University of the Pacific. he was believed to have an incredible untapped potential, and he quickly emerged as a frontrunner to go as the #1 overall pick, which the Los Angeles Clippers took the gamble on. In 5 seasons with the Clippers, Oluwakandi remained as a starter, but struggled with knee injuries that affected his ability to produce on the court. He also played in Minnesota and Boston before ending his career after a decade in the league. He only averaged 8.3 points and 6.8 rebounds in 500 appearances. Anthony Bennett. In 2013, the Cleveland Cavaliers selected Anthony Bennett out of UNLV with their #1 overall pick. Bennett came as a physical force of nature at the college level, standing at 6'8" and weighing 240 pounds. Ranked as the #7 recruit in the draft class of 2012, the Canadian averaged 16.1 points and 8.1 rebounds in the single season he spent with the Runnin' Rebels. At the time, the Cavs' decision to select Bennett was considered a gamble that shocked the entire league, including Bennett himself. The Cavs only kept Bennett for a year before trading him to the Minnesota Timberwolves to make room for LeBron James. In 4 seasons with 4 different teams, Bennett made only 4 starts and averaged 4.4 points, 3.1 rebounds per game, before eventually being waived midway through the 2016-2017 season by the Brooklyn Nets. He spent time in the G League and overseas ever since, undergoing knee surgery and struggling to find his rhythm with a team, and was considered one of the biggest busts as a former #1 pick. Jay Williams. In 2002, taken 2nd overall only behind Yao Ming, Jay Williams had a quality rookie season for the Chicago Bulls, where he averaged 9.5 points and 4.7 assists per game. His career was tragically cut short when he was involved in a serious motorcycle accident during the offseason, resulting in serious injuries, as well as a fractured pelvis and 3 torn ligaments in his knee. That accident effectively brought his career to its crushing end. Riding a motorcycle was technically in violation of his contract with the Bulls, but Chicago, with their good hearts, still managed to pay him $3 million to help fund his rehab efforts. Even though he didn't have a great career as an NBA player, Williams eventually managed to turn his experience into a successful career as an analyst and commentator with ESPN, primarily covering college basketball before recently being moved to the NBA. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. The NBA buzz that surrounded Michael Kidd-Gilchrist began well before the 2012 draft. The 2nd overall pick played alongside Kyrie Irving at basketball powerhouse St. Patrick High School, and emerged as one of the top players in the class of 2011, and ultimately seemed poised to make a jump to the NBA after a quick pit stop at the University of Kentucky. In his college career, Kidd-Gilchrist averaged 11.9 points and 7.4 rebounds, en route to a national championship. Alongside his then teammate, Anthony Davis, they later made history as the only teammates to be drafted 1 and 2. During his time with the Charlotte Bobcats, he was averaging 8.6 points and 5.5 rebounds, but never quite lived up to the expectations placed on him as an amateur, and was surpassed by players down the draft such as Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard. He finished the 2019-2020 season in Dallas, but has yet to sign with the team since. Derrick Williams. Williams came off 2 dominant years at Arizona to be selected by the Timberwolves with the #2 pick in 2011. He was named to the Rising Stars game during his rookie year, but that was pretty much it for Williams. He continued to bounce around the league, serving primarily as a role player, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to maintain his production on any team, and he got less and less playing time over the years. In 2018, Derrick Williams was playing in Germany and has been there ever since. So who would you consider a bust in the NBA? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, check out other videos on our channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe.